Good day, everybody. This is Matt here with the Divine Love Crystal Grid. That's still a mouthful to say, but I got to get used to saying that. Um, and I just wanted to say hello and, provide some feedback on everything that I've been experiencing with this grid and all the synchronicities and everything and how it's really brought me into more of belief of connection with my twin, like the reality of it. And yeah, it is like Nikki has said in past videos, it can feel like you absolutely bonkers, like, you know, but that's where we're headed. And I want to encourage anybody to just stay with it, because it's the new energy that we're going into, that we've progressed into, and it's going to keep intensifying. And we are we're the pioneers that are going to be, help guiding people in one way or another. And we're all helping each other out here as, the crystals of this grid, they're really working around the globe to ground the energies into Gaia, into the universe, into Gaia's magnetic field that chooses to provide us with all these things. And it's magic. But it's not even magic. It's reality. It's like all that we've considered to be, magic in the past. Or wait, how do I say this? Everything that we see in the movies is like, like Harry Potter or whatever. Maybe not the best example, but like, it's almost like all the things that we've considered to be make believe and this and that. If it starts showing up in real life, people be like, "Oh, you're crazy. We're gonna put you in a loony bin or whatever." But like, it's okay if it's in a movie, and maybe that's a little cynical to have that thought. But I mean, why did we create those movies? Well, it's because that's what we wanted. And it's like when things like that actually start coming to be in our quote reality, which is really just an illusion of energy, because that's what we're all made of at our core level, is just pure white light energy. So everything around us is our own mirrored reflection of what we are currently seeing within ourselves. And as far as the twin flame dynamic goes, I'm understanding more and more about it, and more about my twin through this grid. Like how, for one thing, telepathic connections have increased. Which is astounding. It's like literally, like the person is there with me, and I'm having a conversation with them, and they're always with me because they are me, and just as your twin is you, and they are in your heart, and your heart is your soul, and I always think of that song, "Heart and Soul." Do 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 do. You know the one where one person plays the left hand, the other person plays the right hand on the piano. That takes two people to play that song. Well, I mean, I'm a piano player. I mean, I can play it, but you know what I'm saying? It's like normally that's a song that like classically two people sit together and they play. That's all I meant by that. But like, so yeah, I'm blown away by all this too. And, I think the past few weeks I've been taking some time to really absorb all this, like really like digest it. And I'm finally at a point where it's like, you know what, there's no looking back. Like, you just got to accept it, because when you get to the point where it's, sorry there. when you get to a point where, like, where I lost my train of thought here. Let me get back. When you get to a point where you realize that this twin of yours is not a separate person, it's not somebody that you're looking to fill a void, and that they really are you, like some mirror image of you. And it doesn't matter who has the divine feminine or who has the divine masculine. I mean, that doesn't really matter anymore, like, because we're coming together in union on our soul. Our one soul is coming together to obviously embody both. I know it's going to probably scare a lot of people, especially probably a lot of guys, like, oh, I don't want any feminine energy, blah, blah, blah. But that's just the way nature is supposed to be. Which reminds me of this here was the annular solar eclipse from Reunion Island viewpoint, which was the African Ring of Fire on September the 1st. I watched it on TV, the whole thing, and it was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. And it's not like a typical solar eclipse where, the moon would completely block out the sun, but it left a literal ring of fire, which I'm sure ties into our grid here one way or another. I know that's been brought up a lot of times, rings of fire, golden rings, this and that. I've had dreams about it. I remember I actually had a meditation before even joining this grid where I was brought to, it was like a guided meditation, and I was brought to this place, and it was like a vision of, I remember seeing like a pool of fire of some sorts, and I believe like a woman rising from the middle, and it was surrounded by like 12 torches on the sides. And I remember writing that down and saying, like, yes, you will remember the torches, and remember saying, use your eyes. I mean, that's kind of like a personal meditation thing that I had, but still, like, something I remember, and it reminds me of this ring of fire, because what ended up happening was, over like a 3-hour, 4-hour period, the moon here in the front, obviously, slowly, I mean, this just shows the perfection of, like, the design of the universe, too. I mean, it slowly, I mean, they're, thousands of miles away from each other, or millions, I don't know. The sun, like, it takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to get to the earth. So that's like something like eight light minutes, not light years, but 8 light minutes for the sunlight to actually get to the earth. So remember that the next time you look at the sun, that it's actually 8 minutes ago that the sun actually sent that light over here. So anyways, like, this moon, I watched it, and it was so peaceful. It was September 1st, and it was over Africa, like Madagascar. And I watched it at like 3 in the morning in Eastern Standard Time here in the States. And I remember seeing the moon and the sun start to come together like this so slowly. And it's like they both had a consciousness. And it was like a greeting that they hadn't had for who knows how long. It was like this. I literally felt like the sun and the moon kissed, because the moon filled up the sun for a period of time. I wish I had a picture of that, where it was just the ring of fire, a light ring of sunlight around the moon, which doesn't happen in a normal solar eclipse. These annular solar eclipses was very rare occurrence. Slew is a great website where you can actually control telescopes, and you can explore the universe on your own. It's a very nominal membership fee. So if you're really into space and stuff like that, they are a great website to check out. But yeah, so the moon, there was like a little beam of sunlight that came out from the moon, from behind the moon, encircling it. And it was like the moon was the sun was like embracing the moon. And like they had like this mysterious conversation, it seemed like they knew they had this responsibility for humanity, for the earth. And it was like, oh, hey old friend, or not really hey old lover, but kind of like, hey, we're the ones who have to provide life for these people, we're kind of one and the same. And it was like it seemed like with the light that had surrounded the moon with the ring of fire, it felt like, all I can describe it is like the sun and moon were communicating, and the sun was telling the moon a secret. Like they were having like one of those, like a private cabinet meeting or something like that, and a greeting of old friends. And the sun kissed the moon kissed the sun, and then once the message was complete, the moon moved on, and it said, okay, I got my duty, and I got my responsibility, and you got yours. It was good to see you, and let's do this now. Let's usher in this age now. And I'll never forget watching that. And if any of you were able to catch that live feed, please let us know, because that would be awesome if you had some pictures of it or something like that. But I just wanted to bring this up because I was just looking through my photos and I saw it, and just that it's from Reunion Island, and how, when you think about it, the sun is the day, the moon is the night, but they both provide the light and they work together, and the moon cannot be without the sun, and the earth cannot be without the moon. And it's just, and it's perfection. I mean, I don't really know what else to say except, I don't want to get too analytical about it, but it's like, the sun and the moon are like one soul. And that's what twin flames really are. Like, we're one in the same. And I just want to encourage everyone to, like, any synchronicities and signs that you're getting are awesome and they're unbelievable. I've gotten so many that it's like, it's just, I'm so happy to have found this channel and found Nikki, who has showed me all these signs, and everyone, y'all just do so much. And but we all work together, it's like we're all bringing the energies from the fifth dimension, which is the dimension of the higher self and the soul, and the beyond, down here to earth, into this illusion of reality that we live in. I'll let you all do some exploration on that on your own about, the quote illusion. And illusion might not be the best word, but when you really think about it, that everything is just energy at its basic form, pure white light energy that's our brains have encoded to interpret as matter in different ways. It really opens up a door of possibilities to, okay, well, what can we do with it then? Because we too are just energy. This is just, it's love. We're all made of love, really. That's what love is, and light. Love and light. So we live in love and light, and that doesn't have to be. One thing I want to say sometimes is that doesn't have to necessarily be weak. Sometimes I think that it can come across as, yes, it is a peaceful thing in living in love and light, but there is a lot of power behind it too. A lot of power that is, is being entrusted to us in love and light that we're to take and to use. And, we're like the pioneers here. And so I just wanted to say that, yes, as above, so below. So as above, in this case, the sun and the moon coming for a reunion, for, a kiss and a little conference, is kind of leading the way, for what we're going through now, which is within. And I would say that the best thing that I've learned to get closer to my twin, which is profound, I mean, it's just something I never even thought would be like this could happen. Like this is, and that's why it's like you can easily let yourself think I'm bonkers, I'm going mad, even if it makes no sense at all. But you know what I've learned? Sometimes the things that make absolutely no sense are the things that end up making the most sense, And that's what we're called to challenge ourselves at this time, to undertake a journey of things aren't going to make sense, and there'll be times and places for us to share our truths with those who are in our everyday lives. But right now, it's kind of like I feel it's a personal thing, This isn't. That's why we have this community here, which is great. And I thank you all for being a part of it, and for putting your energies, out there, for risking, for being vulnerable in a way, because, you kind of got to take yourself out of the third dimensional world for a little while and think outside the box, and this, the fake box that we've kind of put ourselves in for a whole nother set of reasons, which I won't get into, but it all boils down to we're part of Source, and we wanted to experience what it was like to be separate from Source. And now we're waking up, we're remembering, we're done with that game, and we're tired of it, and it's time to wake up. And that's why all of this it's really happening. It's really happening, folks. That's all I have to say here. So just stay strong, and, don't let anyone shake you. Be that gladiator, all any women who feel they embody the divine feminine, let that masculine into your heart, and embody that warrior, and guys, let the feminine side in and cry, sometimes that's the best thing too, to love is the most powerful cleanser. So, when we let love in, it's going to bring up a whole host of things that we're not going to want to bring to the surface. But the only way that we can cross over to the side that we belong in, and that's not leaving this earth, but the side of, mind and heart and love that we belong to reside within, to see the truth, really, to wake up, is for all of us to open ourselves up to love. And, sometimes, it's those tears are natural. And it's not. Oh, see, then there's the whole battle. I know that a lot of guys might be going through the whole battle of like, well, I don't want to, because we've been trained to like, we got to be masculine, blah, 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 and yes, we still have that, and we are all who we are, no matter who you are who you are. And, I guess the point is letting go of any sort of stereotypes or any sort of expectations upon yourself that have been placed upon society of what you should be or should not be, and embracing the energy that is truly you, which is also your twin, and the more that you love yourself and connect with yourself and you clear yourself, the more your twin will connect with you. It will happen. And that's what's happening on this grid. We're all showing each other that when we search from our heart, when we live from there, that that's what really brings it about. And it's not about searching for that other person and being any sort of codependent upon them or anything like that. And I know there's a lot of sort of misinformation out there on twin flames, and sometimes it seems people are, I'm not saying anybody here at all. I'm just saying from my observations, I'm being truthful, that sometimes it can feel like people might not get it, but I'm not trying to be cynical or say that anybody's right or wrong. I just, from my experience, I've found that it's from searching within me and not really looking towards the external, that it brings that twin closer to me. And it's almost like, wow, they're here right now, and it's like, oh yeah, hi, and I'm being said that's enough. And I think you all get the gist of what I'm saying. So just thank you, and continue listening to the messages and listening to your guidance. And y'all, anyone around the world, happy Thanksgiving. I know it's an American holiday, blah, 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 but what's wrong with the whole world just taking a day to say, hey, we have a lot to be thankful for. Even in the darkest places, there's a lot to be thankful for, because we have a soul, and no matter what happens anywhere on earth, we're okay. We're all fine. So I hope you all have an excellent, wonderful day, and peace to you all, and that's all, folks. Take good care. Bye-bye.